Hey fellow YouTube pilots, welcome back to another lesson with Cody Harris Aviation, and today we're going to go over a couple different things. We're going to go over the 3 different axes of rotation to include roll, pitch, and yaw, and also the flight controls that each helicopter has and the effect that they have on the helicopter. Alright, first thing we're going to go over is roll. In a helicopter, imagine you had a cable running from the nose to the tail. If you were to move the helicopter around that cable, that would be considered roll. Next up we have pitch, which, imagine the same thing with the cable running from side to side on the helicopter, and it will actually, if you were to rotate it around that axis of rotation, it would cause the helicopter to push or to rotate just like so, with the nose rising and dropping. Next we have yaw, which in this case, we would imagine that we have a cable running from the top of the rotor mast, so at this point here, all the way out the bottom. If you were to rotate the helicopter around that point, around that cable rather, that would be the vertical axis or the yaw axis. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the cyclic now. So, when you're seeing the helicopter, you have the cyclic, which is basically a vertical pull, generally either between your legs or just off to your left, to the left of your leg. And this flight control actually will move around freely, a bit like a video game joystick. Alright, so the cyclic will allow you to control the helicopter. It will actually cause the nose to pitch down, pitch up, or roll the helicopter left or right. So it basically controls the helicopter on a horizontal plane. So if you want to hover left, hover right, hover forward, hover back, that will be done with the cyclic. Next we have the collective. Collective is something that looks a bit like an emergency parking brake or an e-brake in a car. It's just off to your left. You would actually be raising it and lowering it. And the effect of that flight control is that it actually uniformly increases the pitch angle or the amount of air the rotor blades are scooping, and cause the helicopter to either climb or descend. We have the anti-torque pedals, which basically have a pedal on each foot. If you press right, it causes the helicopter to yaw to the right. So that would be this movement, cause it to rotate to the right. Left pedal, same thing, but to the left. And how that actually controls the helicopter is anti-torque pedals will actually cause the amount of thrust or the amount of air that's being pulled from one side to the other side of the tail rotor blades to increase or decrease, and that is how the nose of the helicopter is moved around. Next we have the throttle. The throttle is on the end of the collective. You generally just rest your hand on it most of the time while you're flying. The throttle is usually taken care of more or less by itself. We have a little servo motor called the governor, which fine-tunes the throttle position and makes sure that we have enough engine power going to the rotors. So the other aspect of the governor is the correlator, which is actually a mechanical connection between the throttle on the engine and the collective position. So it'll kind of get the throttle more or less in the correct position, and then the governor, which is the little servo motor attached to the throttle grip, will actually do the fine tuning for you. All right, one more point about the cyclic is that it is actually named because the cyclic will control the pitch angle different amounts depending on where the blades are in their cycle of rotation. So let's say you push the Cyclic forward, it will actually increase lift on the back side of the helicopter and decrease the amount of pitch as the blades move towards the front, and that will result in the rotor blades tilting forward, which in turn will cause the rest of the helicopter to follow in its path. Alright guys, I think that's about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next Thursday. Alright, bye.